So this is a story about a water hole in the Arizona desert. So I placed a trail camera on this small puddle to collect images of wildlife. And I was surprised at how many different animals showed up. And so you can see that I have a species count in the top, and I'll talk about them as they show up. What you're seeing right now is a gray fox. So when I started doing cameras in the desert, I really didn't understand how prominent the foxes were. They're very common in certain places as long as there are no coyotes around. And so you can see that in this hole, the coyote doesn't show up, and therefore we get some foxes. Probably the star of the show, always, is the bobcat. And so you can see he's here. He climbs through the thick brush, and he gets a drink here, usually late at night. One of the most surprising things that I found here was a spotted skunk, and I'll see more of him later. Here you can see the bobcat's tail, which is why he gets his name. You can see he's always got his eyes out because he might be a predator, but there are other bigger animals than him around. Notice the fox and the bobcat always approach from different sides. And so they try to segregate themselves, it looks like, at least to me. So the hierarchy is lion is greater than coyote, which will drive away a bobcat, which will dominate the fox. And so the fox is kind of at the bottom of the predator list, but he does have a trick. He's really good at climbing trees. Some people almost call them like the fox cat because they're so good at climbing. And so as you watch him drinking here, he's always got his eyes kind of looking off into the bush. The pack rat. He's probably the bottom of the pyramid for everybody's menu. So you can't think of a predator that would not eat him. I suppose the lions would leave him alone because they have bigger fish to fry, but pretty much everybody else that you see in this video is going after him. Here's a western screech owl. We'll see a better view of him later, but he returns to this puddle many, many times. I think he's after the insects. Here we're back to the bobcat. Now you notice it's 5:36 in the morning, so it's daylight. He's not completely nocturnal, and it's quite amazing that the people that live in Tucson report seeing bobcats in their yards very frequently. He tolerates human presence. This is the western spotted skunk. Now, honestly, before I took this video, I didn't know they existed. Let's take a look at him later again. We're back to the fox, and you notice as he's coming to the water hole, he is going to be looking off into the distance. So he's looking for somebody, and we'll find out in just a minute who it is. I initially thought he was worried about a predator coming, but it's something far more positive. So he is arching his back there, he's kind of nervous, and then look who shows up. So I can't really tell if this is a female. I don't know, can you tell from that angle? Is that male or female? But it could be a pair. We were privileged to see a Cooper's hawk. So the hawk is here, obviously, to get a drink. And not very often that I see hawks coming down to a water hole like this, but kind of a neat thing to see. We've got quails, and they're kind of the funny animals that also are everywhere.
Phil. This is a good camera spot, huh? My camera's over there, but I'm gonna set your camera back up. Uh, there you go, bro.
Thanks to whoever this is,
Hopefully
he
that's a good
came
angle.
to pick up my camera.
All right.
So apparently it had fallen down. Here's an Arizona specialty, a Gila monster. He's like a lizard that is venomous, so don't put your fingers in his mouth. A screech owl. So if you watch closely, you're going to see that he's picking off the insects as they come near him, and also he needs a drink. So I think this is pretty cute. He throws his head back and he gets a drink there. So I think right now he's flapping around and probably nabbing some of those bugs. Here's a cute pair. The quails are going, and then one of them says, "Hey, wait, did you notice there's water here?" And so a U-turn back to the water hole. The white-winged dove shows up but gives us a very brief appearance because he's not welcome, obviously. So scram and get out of here. This bird in the top is called the Albert's towhee, super common desert bird, and then at the bottom, Pyroluxia, is that how you say it? It's normally a red bird. So a rock squirrel here is coming to get his drink. He looks to me like he's probably on the menu for foxes and coyotes. There's a better view. This is kind of a cardinally looking bird, and for all the times that I've tried to find him to get a real photograph with my nice camera, I've failed. The bobcat's coming through. This is now 6 p.m., so it looks like he's getting up for the day and going out. I found two different types of skunk here. So this one, I believe, is a hooded skunk. He's got a nice white stripe all the way down. And then right next to him comes this creature, the western spotted skunk. He's got an interesting pattern on his fur, don't you agree? He is only about a pound. If he's a female, or if she's a female, it's a pound. If it's a male, it's a pound and a half. And these things really punch high above their weight. Nobody bothers them for obvious reasons. The only creature that will eat them is the great horned owl, apparently. Oh, finally we show up with a deer, so it's kind of humorous to see the outsize difference. The camera's kind of aimed to get all these small animals, and then in comes this giant. And for being so big, the deer is just as nervous as everybody else, because mountain lions roam up and down this valley, and their absolute favorite meal is one of these deer. So apparently they'll eat one of these things every week. Here we go, a western cottontail rabbit again. So once more, some prey. Isn't it interesting how the prey and the predators are both sharing this water source? So the day I went here to pick up my camera, it was like 105 degrees. It was super hot. And so this shady treed area is an oasis, literally, in the middle of a canyon where it's very hot outside. And all the animals are really trying to survive on this little patch of water. So toward midsummer, the mountains around Tucson will start to get a bit more rain, and the water shortage will be a little bit better. A northern cardinal is an Arizona specialty, believe it or not. I was surprised when I started looking for birds here in Arizona as how often that cardinals are in the trees. Anywhere there's some water, like rivers and lakes, you probably find the cardinals are living there too. So here is an interesting combination. So we got the deer coming through, and in all the videos that we've done so far, it's been just one animal at a time, but coming up here you're going to see the skunk and the deer together. So here's the screech owl. Many return visits here. I think this is part of his hunting area. So it's almost like we have a food web right in front of us here. We got bugs and mice and rabbits, and then we got some of the mid-tier predators coming in. And surprisingly, not a single coyote showed up here. Not a single mountain lion. And I know they're around. Here's the combination. We got the deer and the skunk together. They seem to coexist pretty well, and they just kind of ignore each other. So this is the ash-throated flycatcher, a western species. So if you're from outside of the western United States, you've probably never seen him before. And here is another view of our cardinal. So what did we get? Like 18 different species and one little water hole in 3 weeks. Make sure you check out some of the other photography and nice places to visit on my channel. So thanks for watching.